Hey, in today's video, we are going to be breaking down Bill Ackman's top 3 picks because, of course, it's always interesting to see who the big billionaires are investing in. So let's get down and let's check out his 3 largest holdings as of the making of this video. Let's get down, let's check this out. So the largest holding he has is Blackstone Group. Blackstone Group is an interesting pick. Blackstone Group is basically an asset management firm that specializes in real estate, private equity, and of course different hedge fund solutions. So it's kind of an interesting pick to me. It's not something that I would normally be investing in myself, but it does have a 3% dividend, which is actually quite interesting because I personally love dividends. Its volume is up there, close to 3 million shares traded per day, which means that you can get in and out quite easily. And its PE ratio, in my opinion, is just a bit high, but I don't usually invest in this type of asset class. Usually I'm into banks, tech, and weed and things like that myself. When it comes to their actual chart, however, their 5-year, technically 5-year, says 5-year, but it's not a 5-year chart, basically 3-year chart, has grown huge. So it started just under $30 and now it's sitting at $75 at the time of making this video. It had a nice slow growth, and in 2019 there was a little bit of a dip. It did explode from 2019 all the way up until the coronavirus pandemic, which then it declined since then. But ever since that point, if we really want to look at the chart, it did explode higher, and of course it made that pattern. However, if we trace from here up, that is pretty well. It's kind of interesting how it may pop back down as a potential. So in the future, I think that this may pop back down or at least touch that line potentially. However, if we really look at it this way, it's still actually tracing that upper line too. So again, kind of an interesting chart anyways. When it comes to their earnings, they did not do very well in their quarter 1 last year. They did meet their expectations quarter 2. Quarter 3 they did better, and of course quarter 4 they exploded. Will this pattern continue? I possibly think it could, because of course in that first and second quarter of last year, we know that the coronavirus did wreak havoc on a lot of different things, especially when it came to stocks, companies, and the exact same things as what Blackstone really invested in for its clients. And kind of an interesting pattern here where it has a good year, bad year, good year, and bad year. Could this next year be a good year? Possibly. And it does pay a dividend, and it has been increasing its dividend. And its most recent dividend, February 5th, was huge. It was actually the largest it's had over the last couple of years. Next is the Howard Hughes Corporation. If you don't know what that is, it's basically a hospitality company, different types of hotels and things like that. Now from there, it does not pay a dividend, which I would assume that it will again eventually someday. However, as of right now, because it is a hospitality industry, it's most likely going to be having some issues financially for at least a little bit of time. Its average volume is only a 300 and something thousand shares, which is still high enough to get in and out of quite easily. However, because it's not over 1 million, if there was a massive downturn, I would assume that it would still be maybe potentially quite hard to get out of if there was a massive sell-off of this company. And considering that Bill Ackman owns a lot of this company, if he starts selling his shares and you start trying to sell yours in response, it may be a bit hard to get out of. It really doesn't move all that much. If we look at the past couple of years, it really trades within that 110 to 140 range. Generally speaking, somewhere in that 120 range. So is it a good buy as of right now? Technically, it could be. You could, if it does return to its highs, or at least its average of 120 or its high of 140, you could make a good or a quick swing on this trade. However, at the same time, considering it's the hospitality industry, it doesn't have a huge history of growth, and it does not pay a dividend. I would personally not be investing in this company myself. However, they have been beating analyst estimates even though the coronavirus is still a thing in this world. However, its revenue has dropped and its earnings are negative. The third company is Restaurant Brands International. Now, you would assume because it says restaurant that this stock would be a terrible company to own because, of course, restaurants are closed in a lot of different countries, specifically Ontario. Restaurants are totally closed. All you can do is takeout. So that's massive. Here in Ontario, they just recently locked down. And even outdoor dining has been canceled. The government literally closed down restaurants totally other than takeout, which is crazy. Like, it just blows my mind how dumb our government is. But that's my own personal opinion, and everyone has their own opinions. Their average volume is 1.7 million shares traded per day, so it is easier to get in and out of. And when you look at its historical chart, it has had some good growth. It's had some consolidation periods. It was already on a consolidation period. Restaurant Brands International does own Burger King as well as Tim Hortons. And Tim Hortons is very heavily in Canada. And Burger King is a worldwide company. However, I would definitely say they make more of their money in the States. Here in Canada, McDonald's really does own the market when it comes to fast food. But I don't shop at either one of those, so that's just my own personal choice. I really dislike how these franchises treat their employees. I was never a restaurant franchisee worker, but I know a lot of family members who have been, and they treat their employees like garbage in most cases. So I would never actually invest in a company like this. However, these are the three choices that Bill Ackman does have, and the top three actual companies that he owns. He has the most money in these companies. We can always look at what these big billionaires hold and see if they suit our portfolio. Now, myself, there's a few companies that I would never invest in. The one being is I would never invest in fast food, and I would never invest in Microsoft. I've got my own reasons, and I've said them in previous videos. However, we can always see what the billionaires are doing and try to react and see if we can have a similar or the same part of a strategy in our own portfolio. Anyways, these are my own choices. These are my own thoughts. I hope that you have enjoyed. If you have, hit that like button and subscribe. Leave comments below with what your thoughts are, and I'll see you guys again next time.